Well, we have made it to the final two games of what could yet be a historic season for Lisburn Distillery, but the main aim and focus is this summer. We have already broken our transfer record twice for pre-agreed deals this summer, and we missed out on one other superstar, who hopefully we'll be able to go back for. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 171 of this Build a Nation story, Lifting Spirits with me, Daniel. We are back today for the final two games of our 18th season, but to be honest, the main focus is what we could be doing this summer. We've got 2 more years after this to try and push on in a Champions League, and I'm giving it everything to take us to the next level. Before that though, we've got a chance to become invincibles for the first time in our 18th season of this save, and we also get a chance to go back to the domestic clean sweep with an Irish Cup final against Larne. Coleraine and Glentoran battling it out for the final guaranteed European spot, so if you're looking forward to all of that and seeing our 2 stars for the summer as well as a youth intake as well, then please do put a thumbs up on it. We're going to start with transfer news for the summer though, because this is big. We have broken our transfer record twice and we are still 2 months away from the window. Let's go over and see what we've agreed, because there are some big names going out as well. If we have a look at the transfers, we have got 2 ins and 2 outs already pre-agreed. We have got 1 player who we accepted a deal for that has rejected a move away. And we've also got a big situation with Morgan Hassan in goal. Now, he's currently our first choice keeper because he's the homegrown in the nation. He's the Irish #1, or the Northern Irish #1, sorry. But we're getting offers in the region of £10 million for him, which at this point is utterly ridiculous. So we might have to think about that this year. For now though, in addition to Albert Press leaving for AEK, which we already knew, we accepted an offer for Johnny Burns, who rejected Toronto. But we also accepted one for Jakub Erza. He is going off to Borussia Mönchengladbach. He's had a better season this year, but he wanted to move on, wouldn't sign a new deal, and as a result, we made an agreement with him to sell him for the same price that we bought him for a couple of years ago. We signed him for £10 million. We're getting £10 million guaranteed with £500,000 in add-ons. He's going to Gladbach this summer. We've already replaced him with a long-term target, and that man is Azier Gurutaga from Atletico Madrid. It's 11.75 million a deal. We've been looking at him for about 4 years since he had a release clause of 80 grand, but this time we are going to get him. He's not the quickest, but again, good in the air, a solid fullback and great determination. He's someone who, with regular football, I hope will improve at the top level. He's played for Bilbao and Atletico Madrid. He's got quality without doubt, and I'm hoping we can take him on to that next level and maybe make a profit on him. He's actually agreed to join for about 4 grand a week less in terms of wages as well, which is great. So he was the first breaking of the transfer record this summer. But then Christian Montero popped up, who is a big signing, but also a little bit of a gamble. We have paid 18.5 million to Arsenal to get a 20-year-old wonder kid in. But here's the deal. He joined them last summer from Penarol. You can see the deal there. Well, we did try and sign him, annoyingly, for about 4 million. He's now been out for about 6 months with a long-term injury, and as a result, is maybe going to have future problems. However, I'm looking at weaknesses in our team, and deeper in that midfield, having a player who can pick up the ball and create brilliant passes is something we've not got. Now, his stamina has declined a bit because of the injury. He's not the hardest worker either, but he's naturally very fit, which I think will sort of mix and balance that out. He's agile, he's still got quality on the ball, but he's a playmaker like we've not seen before, and as a result of missing out on a year, he's got huge potential. He was transfer listed by request. He wanted to move on. And in Northern Ireland, we're going to try and give him a home. He will be the highest paid player at the club with Erza moving on. Pretty sure it was the same wage a week. Yeah, 31.5 grand, which is what Erza's on. And he's going to hopefully be a star of the future. With Balikci improving, with Sinter, and even Bayavang doing well as well. My qualities here are producing a world-class squad rather than just a world-class team. And in truth, he was going to be the replacement for Burns, who has now chosen to stay, but may move on yet this summer and give Coleraine a 50% sell on. So those are the 2 that we've agreed, but I'm still unhappy because we missed out on a man. And that man, I'm going to show you who it is now, is a centre forward who is just world class, who we've looked at before, who has been a superstar target for a long time. Incidentally, we also missed out on Ross Jones, who was a number 10 who was out of contract. He agreed to sign a new deal at Brentford rather than joining us. But let me show you the striker that got away, because that man was Asmund Onlum Pettersson, the model citizen wonder kid from Vålerenga. He finally changed to agreeing to join us, and then he failed a work permit because due to injury he'd missed out on a couple of Norway games. Now, they're in the Euros this summer with us and many other sides. If he plays in all of those games, doesn't get injured, and doesn't quite play well enough to get interest from everywhere else, we might be able to go and get him again. But for now, I'm a little bit worried that we're going to miss out, because it just seems like with the timing, it's not quite going to happen. He's going to do too well this summer. And by the time we can sign him, there'll be other clubs in as well. And we saw it with the other lad from Vålerenga. AC Milan were able to nick him. So that's how the transfer window looks at the moment. Do we have anyone from our youth team that can contribute this year though? Because we have our youth candidates and we've signed 6 of them onto the club. The best one is a young centre midfielder in Ronan Duffy. I've already given him his league debut off the bench a week or so ago. He's a decent player. He's a bit more of a balanced one rather than a standout anywhere. It's certainly someone we can look to for the future and maybe reaching the team. Natural fitness is a concern though. The other one with decent current ability is Scott Higgins, but he doesn't really suit my style. If I were going to play him, it would probably be as a midfielder. He's physically imposing, he's determined, but he's not the best finisher or the best in the air, which is a little disappointing. So off the pitch, things are looking pretty good, but we did miss out on that star striker. But the big news is we've spent most of our summer budget already getting 2 huge players in for the future. But for now, let's have a look at the results since you were last here, because we have got through a lot of games and I'm going to fly through them very quickly here. As you can see, we've won pretty much every match until the last one actually against Linfield. You were with me last for the Barcelona doubleheader. Now I'm going to pick out some of the key results here. So we won the League Cup final 4-1. Jen got another goal in that one, as did Close and a Paleka brace. After loads of other wins, we also got a 10-0 double figures against Dungannon. David Close with 4, Zheng with 3. Zheng's arguably been our best player the second half of the year, and he has broken into our 11. A 2-0 win against Linfield virtually wrapped up the league, Paleka getting a double penalty near the end. And actually, that Larne game before the league split, we won the league title with the 5 games to spare, which I think is the first time that's happened. It's normally been pretty close. We beat Queen of the South in the SPFL final the game after. It did take extra time after a late Trevor Davis own goal. A hat-trick for David Close and one for Balikci did the job. And then since the league split, lots of very good wins. And in a scary moment against Linfield, in the 37th game, we almost, at the end, lost our unbeaten run. Linfield had a gilt-edged chance, and Morgan Hassin, to be fair to him and give him credit, made a wonderful save. That means we go into this Warrenpoint game just needing to avoid defeat. 34 wins, 3 draws, 0 defeats. It's been a marvellous season. Mark Scully will win the top scorer again. Paleka will win the top assist maker again, unless Shen goes on a spree today. And Morgan Hassin, top of the clean sheet list. It's been a wonderful year. So let's go and get through to it. Warrenpoint at home. Should be a formality, but I felt I had to show it, because going invincible for the first time is a big moment. And the fact against Warrenpoint we're getting 5,000 in now shows that we're starting to progress on that front too. I should mention that Coleraine didn't go on a big European run. They got through Omonia and then lost to Hanover. 2-0 in both legs. It was comfortable. So no real standout in the European performance this year. We've overtaken one nation, but been overtaken by another. So we're still in 10th spot. Let's go and make a couple of adjustments. I'll throw some youngsters on the bench again. We'll be back in a minute to run through the lineup. Well, Lee O'Donnell comes back in after suspension, as does Bird at centre-half, which makes us stronger. Freeman is now first choice right back ahead of Gavin Reid, and that will continue into the future. The best youth academy start, and I think will genuinely become world class. We've also got brilliant youngsters on the bench. O'Grady, Ronan Duffy, who we just mentioned in our youth intake, and Emmett McNair are all going to come off the bench. Aaron Simmons is also there, who came back from his loan at the halfway point, and he's developing pretty well. Has just signed a new deal too. And then a legend is Mark Scully. Lonsdale and Reid make up the rest of it. Our 11 for today though is Hassin in goal. Freeman and Thompson the fullback, with Bird and O'Donnell centre half. Sinter and Bayervank the midfield too. Paleka and Zheng out wide, and then Ademir behind close up front, with just a few players missing out due to injury, Urza and Houston being the main two. But let's go and get through to the first of today's two games. It probably won't be the most exciting one on paper. We've got to make sure we finish invincible. No shocks in this one, please. It's a game against Warrenpoint with a chance to make history. As we head through into the first half of this one, let's keep the run going, shall we? Get a few of the lads happy, get a few of them on board and excited, and see if we can get the response. It's a sparse away end, but look at this. If there's one thing this save has achieved, look at those homestands against pretty average opposition. The difference from the start, or even 5 or 6 years ago, is absolutely startling. We've got 2 years to fill it up completely. As O'Donnell finds Bayavang in the middle, just 3 on the clock. Great through ball to close, and he's got support in the middle. I know he's not scored as many goals this year, but where he's a bit quicker and running the channels, he's creating so many more. More assists than Scully normally gets. And it's allowing our wingers and midfielders to score more. The first one hits the woodwork as Ademir's back with a free kick. Could end up being a very big scoreline if we get an early one. It's away as far as Sinter, the most improved player this season. Probably our best midfielder now, as Paleka from the right today cuts it back to close. And he gets the roly-poly out as well. 1-0 Lisburn Distillery. Invincibles, here we come. As we're back 10 minutes in, Lee O'Donnell getting it from his goalkeeper on halfway. We're comfortable in possession. You can see they're not even pressing us in our half. As Casement makes a good interception, but the clearance hits his own man. Oh, if ever a goal summed up the difference in quality between the top 5 and the rest in the Irish Premiership, I think that one is it. David Close, the way he's going, he might chase down Scully's record. He only needs 9 today. With 15 gone, we're 2 up and Ademir has a free kick. It's a difficult angle 30 odd yards out. Hits the woodwork though, and it drops to David Close. He's 6 goals away from Scully. Have I gone too early by saying Scully got the golden boot? We'll find out in the goodness of time. But this is one hell of a start from David Close, as Freeman's got a throw on the right to Ademir. Chips it over the Close again. Must have been offside. It drops down for Paleka. It's a penalty kick. I feel like I've got to put Close on penalties. I think Paleka's on them normally. He is. I'm going to have to try and switch it. I don't know if it will happen in time. But I feel it's unfair not to give Close the chance here. Who's taking it? It is David Close from the spot of 3-0. I could ruin his confidence, but I haven't. He's put it in. This is why we don't show these games anymore. 21 minutes gone. The Invincibles are here for the first time. And now the fun competition of the day is whether David Close can catch Mark Scully from 9 goals behind. Glentoran look like they're going to get 4th. Coleraine losing at home to Linfield. There's a big kick downfield from Warrenpoint, and Freeman heads it away to Bayavang. So comfortable in possession as he gets it again on the right. Bayavang to Paleka, who's played well off that side. Releases Close, who's in for 5. Oh, he's done it, has he? No. Just wide. That chance might cost him and he knows it. Head in his hands, half an hour gone. I mean, this is an absolute riot. As Zheng puts it into Bird, is 5. Another good corner from Zheng, but my words, this is not even a competition. They're all getting the acrobatics out in celebration today. And the Distillery fans are getting a treat as O'Neill goes back to his centre-half. Can Warrenpoint get a goal? I would say we've not been quite as solid at the back this year. And I'd really like a top-class centre-half to come in as Neil gets in and puts one wide. But that was a little too easy. 10's at a break, 5-0 up, and Close is nearly halfway. Well, I said Glentoran might have had 4th. They've now gone down to 9 men against Larne. They've not conceded yet. That's going to make the second half tricky as Zheng puts a corner in again. And Bird hits the bar, Murray clears behind. It's absolute chaos. It's the 3rd minute of stoppage time. It's utter dominance. And Zheng is going to put the ball in. A left-footed corner, in-swinger to the back post. Bird up again, loses out. And these bottom half sides can't compete. There's not quite enough money in the league yet for them to go pro, albeit the TV money is nearly there. And at half-time, we just say keep it up, lads. But we'll get those youth players on before long. Start resting people for the final. As Murray heads the ball away as far as Sinter. It's flicked on. Thompson will chase it. Misses out there, a little bit lethargic, and it's O'Donnell who has to recover it. In the centre circle, finds Sinter again. Oh, that's a short ball to Bird. It's really poor. Thankfully, we're physically good enough to recover, but there's complacency in there. O'Donnell finds Bayavang. Chance to cut inside, but we're keeping possession. Not sure why we need to see all of this. As Freeman goes back to O'Donnell, it's Bayavang. Freeman carrying the ball over halfway. A couple of minutes into the second half. It's been a pretty interesting game because of the goal scoring of Close. But Adamir's got in now. It's back to him again. David Close has scored. Keeper should have saved it. He's got 4 to go. I feel like I should be fair and bring Scully on here as well. But it would be a remarkable moment. I don't know what the record is for goal scoring in a single game by our players, but I would imagine 5 or 6 is the limit. As O'Donnell gets the ball to Bayavang, we'll make changes after this one as Close holds it up for Bayavang. Chance to go right. It's a great confidence boost for the cup final as Freeman to the byline he goes. Cuts it inside for Paleka. Back to Bayavang on the edge of the box. And he balloons it over the bar. Some of the player ratings are actually not the best for this occasion. But at 6-0 with 10 gone in the second half, we will go and make a couple now. O'Grady is going to come on for O'Donnell in central defence. He will play off the left-hand side with Bird switching to the right. We're going to take Xavier off for Ronan Duffy, the youngster, and we'll switch maybe Bayavang. Not sure if that makes any difference. Now we'll just leave it as it is. And then Emmett McNair can have a run out for Zheng, who not had his best game today, but has still done well. And we'll leave the last 2 a few more minutes, I think. Although, actually, we'll take Balikci off as well. Paleka can go in the middle, Simmons on the left, and he'll be a winger on attack. We've got 35 minutes to go. We'll make our final sub soon. But this has been a demolition job. A wonderful performance. We're 70 gone, and I'm going to build up the fitness of Reed at right back. Freeman will get a little bit of a rest. He deserves it as well. I kind of wanted to bring Scully on because it might be his last game for the club, but we can do that in a cup final instead. But worryingly for David Close, it's gone very quiet now. Larne have gone up against Glentoran, which I think puts Coleraine back in 4th as O'Grady flicks across on for Paleka. Back for Aaron Simmons. And he's popped up with a goal as well. 3rd of the season, but I think for the first team. I think most of his others came via cups in the lower leagues. But a brilliant moment for him. And it's 7-0. I mean, we've just been so far ahead this year. Linfield would have been closer if, whatever his name is, Grant McCann hadn't been poached, the manager. He was too good for them, and the man they've brought in to replace him isn't great. And Michael Dove obviously was poached from Larne as well, so the opposition has got weaker in the dugout. But here comes Kennedy. Warrenpoint to score one here. Oh, it's terrible defending. Complacency is an ugly look. O'Grady didn't cover himself well there, and neither did David Bird. It's 7-1 at the end. The clean sheet is gone. David Close scored 5, but did not match Mark Scully's season record. And overall, we're thrilled with that warm-up for the Irish Cup final. Invincibles for the very first time. Now back in a moment to complete the domestic clean sweep. Well, here we go. The Irish Cup final is upon us, and we have got a few fitness concerns. Gavin Reid picked up a knock following the last game, and a few of the others aren't quite fully fit. Cameron Thompson also suspended. So let's go and see what 11 we can put together. Plenty of changes to come on the bench as well. We'll be back in a minute to run through the team as we look to return to being domestic clean sweepers. Here we are then. It's about as strong as we can go, with Freeman staying in at right back due to Reed's injury. Zheng and Paleka stay in. Marival Austin might well be off this summer, but certainly going to be benched for now. The rest of the team, though, makes up itself. It's Urza in for Cameron Thompson. The rest of it, the same as last week. We've got the Euros round the corner, so I want the Northern Irish boys to avoid injury. And for a few of them, like Urza, possibly David Close and some of the subs, and Morgan Hassin with his big offer accepted, it could be a final game for the club. Let's go and enjoy the celebrations by hopefully winning the Irish Cup final. Well, 5 changes for Larne, who obviously rested a few ahead of this one. They've got Declan Connolly, their star youngster, on loan in up front. Andy Waterworth in charge, so hopefully he's going to put up a bit of a fight for them. Let's go and get into the first half. Distillery versus Larne. Windsor Park is packed, and hopefully we can deliver for them. Well, how about this for a disappointment? 44 minutes, and it's the first highlight, but it's a crucial one because we've got a penalty. A handball from a corner. There'd only been 1 shot on target each. No sign of any action. But now on a stroke of the break, Nenad Paleka can give us the lead in the Irish Cup final. And he is the first genuinely good penalty taker we've had. And he puts us in the lead. Makes no mistake in front of a packed Windsor Park. And that is 1-0 Lisburn Distillery. Probably not really that deserved if we're being honest. We're halfway there, but the job isn't done. No, I'm disappointed. I want you motivated. I want you fired up, and I want a reaction. Into the second half we go. It's going to be very interesting to see how Linfield and Larne do this summer. Both brought in a lot more European money. Both increased reputation last summer. Will that lead to a bigger window? We saw Linfield try to get a few last summer, but couldn't get them over the line. Let's hope this year we see a really big increase, because the prize money for the league is up about 50 to 100 grand per position. The TV money's up as well. It is improving as Ademir gets in down the wing. Chance to cut back, but Jackson defends well. It's cleared as far as Connolly, who flicks on for Dunlop. Larne on the counter. They're looking pretty threatening here. Dunlop beats his man. He's got the chance to cross it. Urza deflects it, but only as far as Bird. And he can get it away to Zheng and Shinta. Big ball forward from Bayavang, but it's poor. Intercepted for Mackay and Dunlop. Chipped in for McClelland, and he scored. Leo O'Donnell has missed the header. And Joe Cleland has made it 1-1. Morgan Hassim was caught off his line. We've accepted a ridiculous 16.5 million bid for him. And he might well be off after a mistake in the cup final. Not a great game of football this. But 1-1 with 10 gone in the second half. And we've got a corner to hopefully save the day again. But Bird loses the header. McGlynn brings it away. And none of the 3 Distillery players engage with him. Oh no. Not again. The big game curse. It is absolutely insane. A man that has shown no aggression all year. He's 9 for aggression. He doesn't fly into challenges. What is it with FM23s and the cup final red card curse? Honestly, it's absolute insanity. We're going to drop Ademir in. We're going to have to make a change though. And I'm not sure who to sacrifice. I think it's going to be Zheng. I'm going to put Paleka to the left. I'm going to put Ademir on the right. And Zheng will be replaced by Chris Halston, who thankfully is almost as good nowadays. But it's every time. It is scandalous. We've got an hour on the clock and we need to get ahead here. Then we can maybe go a bit more solid, as Ademir's got the free kick. Chips into O'Donnell. Knocks it down for Bird. Heads it just over the bar. We'll think about more changes soon, because there's a few tired legs here. But let's encourage the lads. Give them 10 more. I don't want to make the subs too early, because if we do end up in extra time, I want these lads to stay fit. As Urza playing out from the back with Bird to Halston. And now O'Donnell. The assistant's telling me to go very defensive, which we will not do. As O'Donnell plays out to Ademir. Big ball forward towards Close, who chases, but in vain. And Warburton flicks it down for Mackay. Larne are a good side. We know they can punish us. If we can get on the counter, we should nick one. At the moment, though, they're playing around us with Dunlop and Connolly. Dunlop again down the right. Takes on his man. He's had the beating all day of Urza, who's got a really poor rating. And O'Donnell heads away as far as him. Urza out of the box. It's a big punt. It's not a very good one either, but Balikci makes something of it. Freeman can bring it away down the right. Looks down the line for Close, who runs in the channel. Has no support at the minute. Cuts inside with the ball. Finds Bayavang. Through ball to Close. Is a brilliant touch to Paleka. Oh, sublime from David Close. Ran the channel, held it up, played a lovely 1-2. And the movement's exceptional. Paleka off the left with his second. And now we will make changes. Bayavang is going to be replaced by Lonsdale just to freshen up that midfield too. Balikci on the right is going to be replaced by the experience of Merival Austin. I'm going to take Urza off as well. I'm going to bring on Trevor Davis. We'll put Bird in on the left-hand side. I'm going to give it 5 more. And I think I'll bring Scully on for Close just to give us the big man up top. A bigger set piece for it as well, as Bird heads just over the bar there. We got 15 to go. I feel bad for Close because he's been brilliant. But this is going to need a big man just for the set pieces and the like. We're 10 to go. We're 2-1 up. We're doing all right here against 11 men. But our 10 have just got to hold on as Davis finds Bird. Never do it the easy way, do we? As Bird carries it into midfield, it's a great run. Finds Halston. Through ball to Scully. Can he wrap up the cup final? It's been forced a little wide, but it's back to Merival Austin. And the old famous duo, now largely from the bench, almost got the job done. We're 88 minutes in. I'm not going to apologise for it. The time-wasting stuff is going on. We're going to drop to balanced. We're going to go full-backs on a defensive duty. And I'm afraid we're going to have to time-waste all the time. We're not going to be more expressive. And we're going to slow the pace down. This is about making sure we win. We've got to show the ugly side occasionally as well. as Trevor Davis has got a free kick at the back. We're halfway through 5 added minutes. Bird has the ball on the left. Gets it back to Davis, the sub, and Bird again. Do not do anything silly here. Bird cuts it inside, goes all the way back to his keeper, and Hassim rightly just punts it 70 yards. And that's what Scully's on for. Forces a poor header to Austin. Houston will bring it forward. Keeps the ball for Lonsdale. It's clever football. It's professional. It's composed on the ball. Paleka finds Houston. Scully's miles offside. Absolutely ridiculous to pass it there. Should have just had a shot because the keeper was starting to commit. And he might well have caught him out. But 5 minutes gone from added on time. The domestic clean sweep is back after throwing away 2 trophies last year. We're not going to worry with the ceremony today. But great to see Windsor Park full. Ridiculous with a curse again. But we've got the job done. And we complete the clean sweep. Well, that's bold, isn't it? Xavier's agent has come after the cup final and said, I want an improved contract. That is so bold after that sending off. Jeez, some people have no shame, do they? He's wanted by other clubs, as are most of our players. And I think it's going to be a busy summer when it comes to the outs here. We've looked at Morgan Hassim. We're starting to get offers that are too good to refuse for people. We've got 2 record-breaking transfers coming in that you've already met. I'm hoping we can get the striker and 1 or 2 more. Let me know what other positions you think we need to improve. As it stands, I still want a big centre forward. I still want a top centre half. And we might well need another goalkeeper soon. We're going to have to keep an eye on those homegrown quotas. I'm not going to worry about a big season review here, as to be honest, we've done a lot of our summer work already. If you want to stay up to date and find out how the next season goes, we'll keep an eye on key figures from the end of this year as well. And please do put a thumbs up on the video. Confirmation that we've gone invincible for the first time. We've won the domestic clean sweep again. And most importantly, we've broken our transfer record twice already. Will it happen again before the end of the year? If you want to stay up to date and find out, make sure you don't miss the transfer special and subscribe and turn that notification bell on to stay up to date. Let me know in the comments what you thought of our first invincible year, and do you think we're going to progress past that last 16 stage next time? The Champions League is the big burden, and we need to push on to the next level. I hope you'll come and join me to find out the answer, but in the meantime, we're back with the Bristol City save tomorrow. It's a huge episode to come in that one, so please make sure you check out yesterday's and come and join me tomorrow. All the other key links up in the eye above or in the description below. And I'll see you back here next time for more big news as we try and sign massive stars and have a tilt at the Champions League.